Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome to episode 48 of Ray and Benny Talk Sports, the Brian Clark edition. Remember that dude?
I do remember that dude. Awesome dude.
Solid linebacker. He was like here for 3 years, but those early 2000 years, bro.
Yeah, he's another one that feels like he was around for a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
The impact he had.
He had a few years in Calgary, but solid linebacker.
Very, very much.
Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. For reals, do it now. It takes like a second. Click. It really helps the show grow. Benny and I can't thank you enough. Benny, where can they find us on the social media?
You can find us at Ray Benny Sports. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok.
Good old TikTok. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, even just say hello. It really hello. Just say hello. Hi, hand wave emoji. It really helps us get the word out. Let's get into it, brother. We got some NHL, some NFL topics that we want to tackle this week, but let's start off with the CFL Power Rankings, and let's start at number 9. I have the Ottawa Red Blacks, even though they got their first win. Congratulations. Woo-hoo! Solid outing by Caleb Evans, eh?
Yeah, a very good outing, Ottawa's been close in a lot of games this season, so nice to finally see Lapo get that win. But yeah, Caleb Evans, man, I don't think Arbuckle was even backing him up in this game, right? He was out for illness or something, but maybe that trade wasn't needed for Arbuckle, because Caleb Evans is actually turning into a decent QB here.
Yeah, got to give him props. Who do you got at 9?
I got Ottawa as well at number 9. So, it's their first win. They're still only 1-6. Maybe they get the ball rolling, but they do have a game against Calgary coming up. But Lapo got the offense going in the second half. It was kind of the same in the first half. Second half, though, they started rolling. Jalen Acklin, man, what a season that guy's having too.
Leading the league in receiving yards.
Yeah, and that D finally stepped up for me, actually.
Yeah, they look good. They look good. At number 8, I have Montreal.
I agree again on that.
They're still a bit better than the Owls, but not much. Not much better. And they almost got back in that game. Even if Trevor Harris is getting injured and getting pulled concussion-wise and him being upset about that. Not Dominic Davis. What's their back? Yeah, Dominic Davis.
Yeah.
Had Eugene Lewis. He had Eugene Lewis open in the back of the end zone. The receiver that targeted 15 times that game, and they didn't go to him when it mattered. So they almost got there.
That's Davis for you, though, right? It's like you put him in there, and that's just something he could never grasp in when he even became a starter for Ottawa or when he was in Winnipeg. It's just he doesn't see those guys open, and he was throwing short of the end zone anyways, even on that interception. So
brutal,
So it's unfortunate Harris had to go back. It looked like the hit was to his back and not to his head, but the way he was down makes it hard to know for sure, right? So it's an unfortunate situation. Bombers had to do it earlier this season. Colaros for Brown there, so tough way to go down. Who knows what would have happened on that last play, but.
I went into the archives of shows past, like I like to do sometimes, and you mentioned Jake Weineke being someone that they have to sign. Why aren't they using that guy?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess they like the new guys that have come in, but
Eugene Lewis 15 times. Like, spread a little love of that. Open it up. And their defense isn't looking good.
No.
Letting Kari go and Baron Miles, it's just stupidity.
Yeah, that defense has not gotten better since they let Miles go. Not at all. Not even close. So
what a disaster. Your boy Machocha. What a disaster.
Hey, it's another one of those teams you kind of love to see struggling to get through. When they had Kahari, I was good with seeing Montreal actually win some games and stuff. But the way they just tossed him out of there doesn't sit well with me. So
no, it's back to those Don Matthews Alouettes that we like to see lose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you got at 7?
I got Hamilton. They got the win over the Owls. They're still only 2-5.
Hamilton. Okay.
Hamilton. Yeah. I got so you. Evans did all right. They're incorporating more of Matthew Schultz in the game, so maybe that helps Evan again. He always
for sure
needs that 1A, 1B quarterback situation to play well.
Apparently, he's okay. He does whatever it takes to win. So all right, bro.
Yeah, but like we just talked about that drive at the end of the game, Montreal was driving again, on that D, which we thought was actually pretty decent, and had a chance to tie it up, and we'll see from there. But hey, they snuck out. They snuck out the win, but they're still 7 for me.
Hamilton does have a tendency to do that this year, go in with a lead and let it go. So it was probably a little nail biting for the people at Tim Hortons Field. What is that called though? The donut box? What's it called? The coffee shop?
I don't even know. Is that what it is?
I don't know. It's Tim Hortons Field, so I thought there
was I know that, but yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I have Toronto at 7. Like, what the heck has happened to that team? After a strong performance against Saskatchewan, they looked horrible.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I still have them higher up the mark, but it's what can you even say? I mean, Harris was 9-17 after that game, against Saskatchewan last week. McLeod got the Thompson, decent day. They had some yardage and stuff like that, but
3 last names. When it came down to it, he missed a couple open receivers.
Yeah. That's a big loss.
Yeah.
Huge. Terrible
talk about
loss.
Hamilton using a 2 quarterback situation. Maybe Toronto's got to think about making some Chad Kelly packages. I'm getting excited about seeing this guy because I want to see him.
Yeah.
But maybe they got to get some of those packages in and do something because they're not performing well under 3 last names, McLeod, Bethel, Thompson.
Yeah, like we said, he's a second half quarterback for the most part, right?
Yeah.
We haven't really seen him put a whole game together here yet. So,
yeah.
Probably got nothing to lose right now with Chad Kelly to see what he has. You're still in first place, 3-3.
And what's with this guy, Chris Edwards, getting these objectionable conducts? Like, Dinwiddie, you got to get a bit of control. I'm not even going to start with that. This is the same guy who got into it with a Ticat fan. Come on. Get some control there. Step up as a coach. There's something culturally not there as a coach. You can tell. There's no leader.
Yeah. We've said it before, and he's still probably learning his processes and figuring out what he should do and how friendly he should be to players and, rein that stuff back in. Because we are obviously seeing it with Craig Dickinson in Saskatchewan too. He's letting a lot go and, what's happening there. I have Edmonton in that spot though, still after the bye week, 2-5. Number 7. So not much movement for them, for me.
Yeah. Speaking of Edmonton, I have them at 6. Again, the bye week, and nothing much is going on. A lot of roster changes. Of course, they've had trouble with injuries since week 1. A lot of guys on that unable to, or 6-game injury list. They started off with getting John Ryan, the punter, former Bomber, Seahawk, Ticat for a little bit. So I have them at 6 just because they stayed pat. They stood pat.
Yeah.
They're standing pat.
Standing pat. They didn't lose anyone. Yeah.
Look at the lines coming up, so.
Ooh, that's a good test after a bye week to see what they can do. Chris Jones, see if he can cook something up for the rookie. But
we'll see.
We'll see. Exactly.
I do like how that Cornelius guy in Edmonton, the quarterback, is progressing. He's a good athlete, a big quarterback with a decent arm.
Yeah, he always seems to play well against Winnipeg, like we said. So let's see if he can do it now, against another team. They're going to need him to step up. I'm assuming Trey Ford is probably still out. I mean, we'll know probably a couple
weeks away.
Yeah, so we'll know later in this week if he's even close or not. But
keep him in.
Yeah, we'll see.
At 5, I have the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They're slipping.
I have them there too.
Yeah, they were on a 3-game losing streak. I don't know what that reaction was. Yes, they do have a really bad schedule. Twice they've had to play with it. This one, a bit because it's their fault that they only had 4 days. But even if the games happened, it would have been only on 5 days rest. CFL schedule makers, again. But at the same time, when you let someone score 28 unanswered points, there's something wrong.
Wrong. Yeah, I mean, Fajardo had a pretty good first half. They're moving the ball. The offense was going. Only ended up with 168 yards. So, what happened in that second half? There was the run game disappeared. The run game wasn't even there all game. Only 8 runs all game. So what's Jason Moss doing there?
That's the name I want to hear.
So you got to start questioning him and seeing what kind of offense is going, because that offense does not look good for the most part all season, right?
No
it's had bursts here and there. But it's going to get tougher for Saskatchewan because they only got 1 game left against the East, and that's against Hamilton. And the rest are all West games, right? And playing Calgary and Winnipeg over that stretch too. So it's going to get tougher. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jason Moss over this bye week.
Yeah, and the coaches really got to take control of this team. Letting a little bit of a gimped out quarterback play behind an O-line that so far has not been proven to be consistent or even good. come on, Craig Dickinson. I know I've been really hard on him lately, but I just think it's true. He's
well, he's going to be in trouble this year if this thing doesn't get rolling or turned around. And like I said, it gets tougher from here. Even if you thought your schedule was tough in this first half, they got to play a lot of the East teams, and they still only ended up 4-4. You know, losing twice to Toronto did not help.
No, they have the Elks next.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, after the bye week, they got the bye week coming up here, so maybe the Elks after that, I believe.
That's get healthy, get that quarterback healthy, and really get something going in that. They're like a rudderless ship, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you have at 4?
You know what? I had still had Toronto here at 4 because they were 3-3, and the rest of they beat Saskatchewan twice. The rest of the league is still pretty terrible, so it's like whatever there. But big loss for them again, like we talked about.
Yeah, I have Hamilton at 4. They're surging.
Big jump.
As much as you can surge in the East. They won 2 out of their last 3, and the one that they lost, they held a pretty talented BC team to 17 points in BC.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did make a big jump on my power rankings. I think they'll make an even bigger jump if they can get Don Jackson really involved in the game. You mentioned the 2 quarterback system working with Schlitz or Schiltz. Schiltz is the beer.
Schlitz. Schlitz is the beer. Schiltz is the quarterback.
I'm sure it's trash beer. Anyways.
I might have said Schlitz.
They play 4 of the next 5. Thank you again, CFL schedule makers, against the Toronto Argonauts, which actually might be pretty cool. Because it might either keep things really tight or one team might pull away, and I say Hamilton might pull away. So I have them at 4.
Yeah, if you go based off this last week, then for sure that it's looking better for Hamilton than it is for Toronto. But Toronto did have the game against Winnipeg was a nice, good second half. Their next 2 games were pretty good. Yeah, but yeah, they fell back against Saskatchewan, and then they fell back in the hole here again against Ottawa. So there's not enough consistency, and probably the most blame goes on Dinwiddie, anyways. So
absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Who do you have at 3?
I gotta bump Calgary down, even though they had 2 close, tough losses to the Bombers, which is Bomber fans we love to see.
That's such a good game on Saturday.
Yeah, what a game! So they dropped a 3 for me. Tough game for them, I guess. 7 scoring drives, and only 2 of them ended up with touchdowns. Oh. So as much as we thought maybe the Bombers gave up a couple easy touchdown drives, they still shut down on offense when they needed to. Late in the game and early in the game, there was that 2-drive stretch where Calgary scored. So yeah, there was a lot there. Kadeem Carey again, another great game against the Bombers with 2 touchdowns, just under 100 yards, but he had 32 catches. So he's been a beast, but Bo Levi's been average. He hasn't been great in either of these games.
No, that's why they got to switch it up there in Calgary if they're going to take the next step. They got to lean on Kadeem Carey. You know how the Bombers leaned on Andrew Harris those first couple of years to get started? I think that transition has to start. Yeah.
Can his ego accept that, though? The Bombers had the quarterbacks to recognize what they have in Andrew Harris or what they had in Andrew Harris and let him be the lead bull. Is Bo Levi going to be able to look at that and say, yeah, let's do the same thing?
Is he really a top 3 quarterback right now?
Probably not, but that guy's still got the ego.
Well, he's better if he wants to win against good teams. I think he's got to take a step back if he wants to be a leader too.
Well, he did say the Bombers were great now, but they wouldn't be at the end of the season.
Yeah, you got to say that. You got to say that. You've lost 2 in a row against them. You got to say that. You got to come out. You got to.
I love a few quotes by him, man. No, like in this last, you can tell it hurt for him to lose another one of these games. Making comments like I've beaten that team 1,000 times. Well. Okay, well, you beat the crappier Bomber versions. You haven't beat this team very much in the last few years. So I love to see Bo Levi like that. The Bombers are finally at those positions where Calgary was years ago when they'd always come into town, beat these teams, win a lot of games, right? And we're like sitting there going, I wish the Bombers could get there one day, right?
I hated seeing Calgary.
And now they're finally there. Oh, I know, right? They dominated Winnipeg for so long, so it's nice to see this happen.
Respect to Rene Paredes.
Yes, 5 for 5.
jeez. 95, 96% kicker. Wow. And he hit a 50-something yarder, 54? 56?
Yeah.
Shout
out. He hit some good ones, but...
Not shout out. You don't get a shout out. You don't get a shout out. Props to you. So at number 2, we got both BC, right? Because we know who's number 1.
Yeah, BC. Big win by BC. You're down 17-4.
Yep.
You end up winning 32-17. that D shut down Saskatchewan in the second half.
Yeah.
Rourke had another plus 300-yard game, 2 TDs. Butler was running all over. It was just a big and great display by BC to being down like that and to fight back, score late in the first half, and then just take over that game from there. The O-line, D-line.
In Saskatchewan.
Yes, that too. Yeah, loud, noisy. Yeah.
That young QB doing it in Saskatchewan. BC getting its first win at Mosaic in history. Congrats to you. That's true. You told me last week.
That is true. It was 2016. Yeah.
So that's Taylor Field days.
Yeah.
That dump. But also the BC O-line.
Good times in there, though.
I know. Some I don't remember. I'm not going to lie to you. BC O-line looked really good, especially on that touchdown that Rhymes got. Rourke got to go through his progressions multiple times. And he didn't have to use his feet to get that final touchdown there. Or not final touchdown, the touchdown to Rhymes. So they're looking good.
Yeah, we were. That was one of our biggest concerns with BC going into the season was that O-line.
Yeah.
But it's actually held up, played well. D-line had a great game as well.
I know,
chasing Fajardo and putting pressure on him all the time. So
they're looking strong.
This looks like a 3-team league at this point.
I know. With teams like showing potential and then really sucking the next.
Yeah.
It's fun. So kind of parody and kind of not. It's always fun to watch, though. And this game was fun to watch on Saturday. It was great to see the Bombers cement themselves, for me and for you, as number 1 in the power rankings. They went into Calgary, a team that usually does well after the bye, with a Hall of Fame coach, a Hall of Fame QB, going on to their 8th straight game without a bye, and it was like business as usual.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked against them. As you may recall, so
it's all good.
I'm glad to eat a little bit of crow on that one.
We got love in Bomber Nation, brother. You know what's there.
Yeah, still the kings of the league, man, and they just displayed it full front in that game, going down late, and it didn't phase them. Right, they just drove right back to take the lead. Kalaros, I don't know, man, that guy. It's amazing. Like we say, that game against Edmonton, 7 completions. It's like, woo, that's terrible. And then he comes out and puts this kind of game.
He's balling.
Yeah. Dembski comes back, 2 touchdowns, big plays on that final drive for the Bombers.
Yes.
Brady Oliveira, who we were wondering if he could do it.
I doubted.
Yes. I doubted. We all did.
I doubted. It's one game, but I doubted.
But maybe he's finally hitting that stride with over 100 yards rushing and pounding runs too.
Yeah.
Dalton Schoen, another game, man. 2 TDs over 80 yards, man. Like, is this guy going to be here next year? Is he going to get an NFL shot?
Man, I'm not thinking about that now. Let's be in the moment. Don't think about that until the offseason. We have a great receiving core. Dembski's had a great game, 2 TDs right off the bat.
Yeah.
It was an entertaining game to watch. I loved how to use Janarian Grant on one of those plays. He got a great catch for a first down. Ellingson's going to come back eventually, so they're going to get better. Brandon Alexander, although Nick Hallett played a great game.
Yeah, he had an awesome game. Yeah. But yeah.
So this team
Claros, 4 TDs, man. It's just like, and like we talked about the D, they gave up some yards earlier or field but held them to field goals. And then they gave up 2 crazy touchdowns, quick drives and all that, but then they held at the end. And, it just shows what kind of force they are without Jeff Goat again as well. And they still gave it to Bo Levi on the field.
And Calgary going into their house and keep letting them only get field goals at the beginning was huge.
Yeah.
If those would have been scores, and it easily could have been what, 21-10?
Yeah.
But no, they kept everything in check. And I thought it would have been a defensive battle. Stupid. But I also thought it would come down to the last play.
Yeah.
And they're champions when they come out. They come out, and when the time matters, when it's crunch time, Kalaros is clutch.
Yeah. How many? There was just years where even when Bombers were even close in a game, and they had the ball last year, you're still thinking, nah, they're not going to score, and they wouldn't score. And now you're thinking, okay, I'm not even worried right now, man, because that offense, it goes when it needs to. It hums when it needs to. It can get downfield even on the best of Ds and score a touchdown. So
no stress.
None. Did they clinch a playoff spot yet?
Oh no, probably. And there's some great conversations going online on Twitter because I'm a huge fan of Twitter.
Yes.
But could be a legacy team. In the sense of, if Caleros gets his 3rd championship in a row, you have to put him in the ranks of Damon Allen, Tracy Ham. If Michael Shea gets his 3rd championship in a row, that's like statue worthy.
Yeah, and he's not signed beyond this year, eh?
Yeah. Oh my
Jeez,
goodness.
when I read that a couple of weeks ago, I was like, what?
I know. Remember that scare when Edmonton wanted to get him?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bombers up at number 1. And join us later on in the week where we go through our predictions for week 9 of the CFL. It's always so good in Bomberland right now.
8-0. Kicker did well too, man.
8-0. Yeah.
But yeah, 8-0. 8-0, man.
Yeah, don't talk about the kicker.
Right.
Let's go with the NHL quick hits. We're going to do quick winners and losers so far in free agency. Who would you have as of right now as a winner in NHL free agency?
I got to go with Columbus just for signing Gaudreau. I don't like the Gubradson deal or whatever they made, but signing Gaudreau, it kind of shows that, hey, maybe people will want to play in Columbus, or if they see Gaudreau there and they start to win, they'll want to sign there as well. Plus, Laine ended up signing. I know it wasn't free agency. Well, I guess he was a free agent, kind of. Signing for 4 years, which I think is huge as well.
Absolutely.
So for me, right now, they would be at the top of my list as winners.
The winner that's a good choice. That's a really good choice. They're going to be good. For my winner, I have the Detroit Red Wings. I like what Stevie Y. I was about to say Stevie Y, and then Stevie Yzerman came out. So Yzerman. I like how he brought in Andrew Kopp. Not only is he a solid player, he had a great playoffs with the Rangers, but he's a local kid. He's a Michigan alumnus. They got David Perron for a couple years, and so he could be one of those guys who smartens up the young core that they have. And Stevie Yzerman said that Dominik Kubalik could be a pleasant surprise. And this guy's put up like 62 goals in 3 years, and he's only a 2.5 cap hit for 2 years. So nice. He's a big scorer. And he got your favorite D-man now, Ben Sherratt, for $475 a year.
God,
that's not bad. Not bad.
That's a year though. 4.75 a year.
It could fill in nicely. He's a good defenseman.
It's like that Gubradson one for Columbus. It's like they made a bunch of good moves and then they made one like that. Same with Sherratt. Like you could have probably had him for, if you really wanted so bad, probably a couple $1 million a year. Like 4.75 seems like a lot plus 4 years.
I think Sherratt has enough on his resume to make at least like 3.54.
I don't know.
I don't know about two.
Two. He wasn't great when he got traded to Florida at that point.
And the man.
It would have been oh god.
2 million? Come on, bro.
Dude, 2 million was a lot, I thought.
Not in the NHL, not post-COVID NHL. So yeah, I think he's not bad, but I do think he helps Detroit's blue line. So yeah, I'll take Detroit.
We'll see. It's a young blue line. Maybe got that veteran presence, and plus his toughness will maybe help some of those younger guys. So we'll see, but he's still not a good defenseman.
Oh, I think he's a good defenseman. As the losers, I will gladly pick the Toronto Maple Leafs. What happened to getting a goalie?
They got one. Oh, they got two.
Yeah, I know. Samsonov and what's his face? They traded Matt Murray. Sorry, Toronto. Like, you let Jack Campbell walk to Edmonton for that? All right. Kyle Dubas?
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, Campbell was $5 million, right? I think, I don't know. I would have probably kept Campbell over those two guys. Murray hasn't been able to stay healthy. Samsonov wasn't great for a reason. Who knows? He could change it around, turn it around, but
maybe they're gambling.
Yeah. But that's what they do every year, though, right? They gamble. It's that their forwards are enough, and their D and goalie can just hang in there.
That's ridiculous.
But they didn't get better.
When has that ever won a Stanley Cup recently?
Has not.
All right.
Has not.
Who do you have as a loser?
I'm sticking local for that one. Gotta pick the Winnipeg Jets, man.
You don't believe in the Rick Bonus factor?
No, not enough signings. There's some guys out there I wish they would have signed. Even a couple of them probably would have bumped them up on the list for me. Yeah. Like we talked about Strome. There's Sonny Milano from Anaheim still out there. They just brought in a bunch of AHL guys. They lost Comrie. I know they got Dave Rittich, but he's so hit and miss. And then the way they lost Comrie kind of sucks because, if he would have played 30 more minutes in games this season, he's still an RFA.
90,
they have control. So
I think it was 90 minutes. Wasn't it?
No, okay. So
3 games or something, or not 3 games, any which way.
Yeah, so they're terrible for me. I'd give the Flyers another one too, another ex-favorite team of mine. Good God.
I thought they were going to get Johnny Hockey.
Yeah, they went and traded for Tony DeAngelo and signed him for 5 years or $5 million, and basically priced himself out of Gaudreau. Good God.
Toronto and Philly, we cheered for these teams.
Yeah.
Let's move on for the NFL. Quick hits. Watson gets 6 games. What a joke. Give me a break. We have guys sitting on the sideline for years because of smoking weed, and this guy with a whole bunch of unresolved. What? The NFL, again, you've proven yourself to be a joke.
I think they got burned on this one because they went with an arbitrator basically and a judge to make the decision which was outside of the NFL's hands, and she only ended up giving 6 games.
Get out of here.
The plus the guy only loses, I think it was $333,000 in salary. That's it over those games because all of it's paid in the signing bonus.
This is a joke.
And also the NFL only argued 5 of the 24 cases, and I think 1 got thrown out. So there wasn't a lot there. And even though the judge ended up saying, hey, he definitely violated 3 of the rules of the code of conduct thing, she still gave 6 games basing it on other punishments in the NFL and not a new punishment. So, man, what a break for him. I would expect the NFL probably to appeal this.
Yeah.
But the fact that, all these cases are getting settled. So usually, I don't know, obviously innocent until proven guilty, but once you start settling cases, it kind of gives you a story. And plus, there's 24 of them, all different, all whatever. It's hard to not,
stupid,
But 6 games.
Boy, Cleveland's going to be the most booed team for the next few years with this clown on their roster. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would expect full booing of that team every away stadium they go to.
What a joke the NFL is, man. What a joke.
Yep.
Your boy Deebo Samuel signed, and he got his cash. And
he got his money. Yeah. He got his money. 3 years, $71.55 million extension. 58 million guaranteed, but only 41 of it is fully guaranteed. But I think the other one's tough through injury. But that makes him the highest of the 3 receivers there that just signed between Metcalf, AJ Brown, getting him $1 million more than one of the others. So good deal, I think, for the Niners. Paying a lot of that up front. You got 4 more years of Deebo because he was still signed this year. And then you get to see when he turns 30 if he's still got the body, if he's still doing a lot of running plays, if he can still play and get another contract after that. But it's a good deal. They had no choice, really, if they wanted to keep him and sign this deal. So
cash, length, money aside, Trey Lance needs this guy to be successful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they will use him as a Swiss Army knife. And now that he's being paid, he can't complain about it. But I think when it comes down to it, the wide receiver market is about to break. And I think we've been talking about this since January, February, February, March, when these contracts started rolling out, when Christian Kirk got $20 million. It's like this market is about to bust. Just like the running back market busted.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
But you got guys like Justin Jefferson who's going to be coming up. He's going to get paid if he has another wicked season like he's had for the last 2. So
yeah,
it might still go for a bit, but at some point someone's got to realize okay, this guy is not worth 20 plus because every new guy is making more than the last guy, right?
And they're finding receivers like crazy in the draft all throughout all rounds and some undrafted because there's so many receivers. Like every college team has 10 receivers on their roster?
Yeah.
So there's so many receivers. It's so deep. It's going to break the market soon.
It will. Yep.
You got any shout-outs?
I got a couple shout-outs to give out. Shout-outs to shout out.
Yeah, quiet you.
First one I'm going to give out is to our buddy Jay, who went to Calgary, enemy territory, sat in McMahon Stadium, wearing a Bomber shirt and holding up a Ray and Benny sign. Shout out to Jay, man, for doing that. That's awesome.
Thanks, Mr. Man.
Yeah. The other one I'm going to Nick Hallett. For that wicked game he played, first career start at safety for the Bombers, 5 tackles, and made a big play at the end, knocking the ball away from Reggie Begelton to stop them late in that game on a drive. So shout out to Nick Hallett for me.
Yeah, we talked about that dude earlier. I'm going to give a shout out to the old man, the nature boy, Ric Flair. Woo! Having his last match ever, so he says, but I think it's for real this time. And I think for everyone's sake and health and mine, please do retire. Don't come back. This guy's been through so much, like in 2016, 2018. The dude has like kidney, heart failure, 20% chance to live, fell into a coma, and he eventually came out of it and made a full recovery. So it was good to see him in the ring. It's on YouTube crazy. If y'all want to check it out. Undertaker was there, Mick Foley was there, Bret Hart was there, DDP was there. So shout out to Ric Flair for making hopefully one last appearance.
Probably not.
Benny, you got anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget, subscribe to us, follow us, check us out, and have a good couple days.
And in the famous words of Phil Woosnam, the rules of soccer are very simple. Basically, it is this. If it moves, kick it. If it doesn't move, kick it until it does. Be kind, be safe, help each other out. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.